Hey guys, Butler Bulldog Bill here, and this is a recap of Butler's CBI, the College Basketball Invitational, quarterfinal win at Pennsylvania Monday night. Um, this game was at the historic Palestra, one of the greatest venues in college basketball. Um, this game was a pretty decent effort by Butler. They went on to win this game 63-53. Pretty impressive road win considering it's the postseason. Krishan Hopkins had a great game for the third game in a row. He led the team in scoring. He had 15 points. And he had a career high 8 rebounds, I believe. I think it was a career high. But anyway, Butler, in the first half, they started off a little bit slow, as always. They couldn't find their stroke. They had a lot of turnovers in that first half. They had 10 turnovers. That allowed Pennsylvania to stay in the game. But in the second half, Butler eventually ended up breaking it open. They finally grabbed a double-digit lead, probably with about a minute to go. But they never allowed Pennsylvania to be close enough to threaten to take the lead. So it was around a 7, 8, 9-point lead for most of the end of the second half. For the first 8 minutes, it was a back and forth kind of game. But Butler in that second half, well, for the entire game, they had a great defensive effort on Pennsylvania's highest scorer. Zach Rosen is his name. Zach Rosen was the one, was Pennsylvania's top scorer. Butler held him to 3 of 10 shooting. He only got 11 points. So just a great defensive effort right there, not allowing him to get into a rhythm. And I believe that lockdown on this guy is the reason why Butler was able to pick up this win. And they kind of did the same thing in the last game against Delaware, where they shut down their top scorer. So with this win, Butler improves to 22-14 on the season. 22 wins, that ties on 12th place for the most wins in school history on the list there. But Butler, they had 4 players going to double figures, which was pretty impressive. Ronald Norred, he had 12 points. Let's see, who else? It was Kendall Marshall, that was the one. 14 points, 13 rebounds, so a pretty awesome night for him. All 14 of his points came in the second half. Pretty cool for Kendall to get a double-double. That's definitely some momentum, something he can build off of for next year. Since he'll be a junior next year, he can help lead the team. And I can't remember at the moment who else. I think Roosevelt Jones had 12 points as well. So, all in all, a pretty good effort by Butler. Their next game is actually tonight. They're at home, which is going to be a good thing considering who they're playing. They've got the Pittsburgh Panthers. And this is a rematch game basically from last year's NCAA tournament game where Butler, second, or I guess it's considered the third round now, the round of 32. This was the rematch of that game where Butler won that by 1 point. They had a couple of questionable calls there at the end. True calls, but stuff that you don't usually see called at the end of the game. With Butler had a 1-point lead with about 2 seconds to go. Pittsburgh drove it down the floor. Shelvin Mack kind of, was blocking him off with the body. They called a foul there. Pittsburgh goes to the line for 2 free throws, hits the first to tie it up, misses the second. Matt Howard with the rebound gets fouled by Nazir Robinson or something like that. I apologize. I don't really remember his name. He goes to the line, hits the first free throw, intentionally misses the second with 0.8 seconds to go. So the time will run out and Butler wins the game. That same player that fouled Howard last year at the end of the game is back again this year. So he's going to be trying to do the best he can to exact revenge. I'm not quite sure that it would be, a whole lot of revenge, considering this is a CBI game and that was the NCAA tournament last year. But they're going to be doing what they can to put a hurting on Butler. I'm sure this loss from last year is fresh in their memories, so Butler's going to have to come out giving it everything they've got. I have a fear that Butler has a very good chance of getting beat this game, even though they are home, but I am hoping for the best, and I'm hoping for a win here tonight. So, Hinkle Fieldhouse tonight, 8 o'clock on HDNet. Butler Bulldogs host the Pittsburgh Panthers. But anyway, Butler Bulldogs did defeat the Pennsylvania Quakers 63-53 in the quarterfinals of the College Basketball Invitational. And like I said, tonight is the semifinals. So be watching if you have the channel HDNet. Anyway, thanks guys. Have a good one.